Asia Tech Podcast.
Hello, welcome to Asia Tech Podcast Stories. We are all about the stories that make the Asian tech ecosystem so dynamic. My name is Graham Bound, and today I'm joined in the studio by Kid Parchariyanon from Bangkok. And I love this. He describes himself, because this is a story in its own right. We're going to go into this as a medical doctor turned serial entrepreneur. There's a lot to explain there. Kid, welcome to the show.
Hi, Graham. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Hey, listen, Kid, joining us from Bangkok today, a medical doctor turned serial entrepreneur. You don't see many of those, do you? You must be quite a rare case, a unique case in its own right. Have you met many doctors who've turned into entrepreneurs in your walk of life?
Yeah, I think I met a few of them. Yeah, but my story is starting when I was in the med school, second year. Yeah, where I tried to trade the stock. Yeah, and then I cannot do that well because my teacher is in front of me. Yeah, I cannot sneak out very often. Yeah, so that I developed mobile stock trading. Yeah, to use it for myself.
That's an early age to get started. I want to go into your story. I think it's fascinating what you've achieved and, you know, what you've done in your entrepreneurial career. Let people understand, you're Thai. You're born and raised in Thailand. You were educated in the US. And we'll talk a little bit about the importance of that in terms of entrepreneurialism, especially these days. There's a big change in Thailand. A lot of people starting businesses and the startup scene as well. But your main focus now is Rise. Is that correct? Your corporate innovation accelerator. Maybe you can explain a little bit about what that is, and then we can go back and look at your story, how you got there.
Sure. So what I'm doing now is Rise. We call it corporate innovation accelerator. So we help large corporate and also the government to innovate faster. Yeah. So for example, like last year, we're working with Ministry of Digital Economy, to groom up startup in a country. Our accelerator, having over 500 startup, we recruited from nationwide, and then we groom it and using like everyone's tax, to groom them, all over the year, because it's government spend, but we need to make sure that they're growing to be a good startup. And they'll be able to grow internationally afterward. That's the first thing that we run, which I call it National Accelerator.
That's based in Thailand.
Yeah, they're all from Thailand. 500 companies in our portfolio.
Right, but you say it's a corporate innovation accelerator. You say you're working with some government entities as well. Are you looking at those large corporates as being the sponsors of these startups? How does that work? Because the 500 startups are small companies, right? What's the relationship there?
Yeah, so this the one that we're working with the government, the National Accelerator, we got sponsorship from the government. Also, like last 2 years, we setting up the first fintech accelerator here in Thailand. This one we collaborate with the bank. So that their name is Krungsri Bank. They're top 5 bank in the country. I went to see the CEO of the bank and then say, hey, now every bank you need to disrupt yourself. Otherwise, startup will disrupt you. So the thing is that why don't we trying to collaborate between the bank and also the fintech startup? Then once you collaborate, you can also move faster and also startup be able to survive. Because thing is that because I've been doing a startup for almost 20 years, and what I learned is that most of the startup they die during the early days because they lack of customer. And why they lack of and how do they can find the customer? Oh, they can find with corporate. The corporate they have customer. But they innovate slower. So this is the things that I try to matching them up. So that's become the accelerator.
Right. That's a big challenge because I worked in telecoms for 15 years. And telecoms companies are large corporates. A lot of telecoms companies come from post offices or, like national industries. And they're very slow and very big, and they don't do innovation very well. So how do you get on with these large corporates? Because I'm an entrepreneur. I always get frustrated dealing with large corporates because they move very slow. They don't understand the mindset of an entrepreneur. They don't like taking risk like an entrepreneur takes risks. Are you finding you have to change the way you think when you deal with large corporates, or does it come naturally for you?
Yeah, I think because before I'm running the corporate innovation accelerator, Rise, I've been working with the corporates as agency before, like advertising agency
Right.
for 10 years. Yeah, when in that position, it made me understand how corporate thinks and make me understand how they want to do any strategy they like to go. Yeah. So basically, right now, apart from running the Rise Corporate Innovation Accelerator, I'm also the group CEO of McViva, which is the advertising company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then we have that's helped us to get an access to all the corporate in the country.
Right. Okay. Understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back a little bit, kid, if we can. Let's go back to the beginning of the story and how you got into this position. So you were an overseas graduate. You studied abroad. You studied medicine to be a doctor in the US, right? Did you come from a medical family? Were your parents doctors? Did you have doctors in the family? I'm just curious to know your background and how you got into medicine.
Oh, yeah. So actually, my parents are veterinarians.
Mm.
Yeah, and then I think, I saw my parents. They're working very hard, and they're very tired to be veterinarian. So I think, become a doctor should be easier. Should be make me But in fact, it's not true, right? So doctors, they are working harder. Yeah, than any kind of doctors.
Exactly. And human patients complain more than animal patients, right? So it's a lot harder for you as a
Yeah,
doctor. So you chose to be a doctor. You moved to the US and you studied there. But during your studies, you had this entrepreneurial itch. Tell us a little bit about that. You've already talked about this stock trading app. What's the story there?
So I training the doctor in Thailand, and then after that I graduated in medical informatics in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but during the time that I study in Thailand, because in Thailand the medical system we study like 6 years. Yeah, onto the second year, I start to invest in the stock market, and then I think it's very hard for me to trade stock when I'm studying. Why? Because as I mentioned, a teacher is in front of me. It's very hard to sneak them out. Yeah, and then but during that time, we have the mobile phone that can connect to the internet. If you remember, is Nokia 3310.
Oh, I know very well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a unique, very unique, very pioneer. So that's everyone can play Snake game on the mobile, right? Yeah, and then at that time, I talked to my friend who's engineer. Say, hey, if we can connect to the internet, why don't we use it to trade the stock? Yeah, and at that time, Nokia they have the competition. They call mobile programming competition. So we submit our idea, just like the startup these days. Yeah, but at that time there's no like startup, right? The word startup it's just coming up in the just a few years back. So 15 years back, my friend and I we developed stock trading, and that's the first time for a stock exchange of Thailand to be able to trade via mobile.
Was your friend a doctor as well? Did he come from a similar background?
No, my friend is engineer.
Right.
Yeah, and then we developed it, and then we sold it to Stock Exchange of Thailand.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
when I was in the fourth year. Yeah.
that was your first entrepreneurial venture, was it? Or were you entrepreneurial at a younger age? I'm wondering where it started. I'm always fascinated when people really become entrepreneurs. Some people start when they're in their teens, some people later in life. What was it for you?
To me, I think it all started from my family because when I was young, yeah, I asked my mom, "Hey, mom, why don't you need to go to the bank? Why you keep going to the bank?" Oh, mom said, "Kid, mom, she go to the bank because she want to deposit the money."
Yeah.
Oh, why we need to deposit the money? Oh, because we deposit the money and then we get interest. So I was fascinated by the interest rate when I was like I think 5 years old or 6 years old. After that, yeah, I asked my mom, how can we have more money? Because yeah, I eat a lot. I eat a lot. Yeah, if you see me, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm 6 feet and 2 inches.
Right.
So I always the tallest guy in the class.
Right. That's tall for a
So
Thai guy, right?
yeah, and I eat a lot. And my parent never give enough money for me to eat. So I try to wow, how can we make more money so that I can eat more? So that's basically the things. Yeah, and I love reading. So when I remember when I was like 12, yeah, I go to the bank and then I ask the bank, hey, what is the kind because there are the pamphlet right
Yeah.
about the mutual fund. So I start to invest in the mutual fund when I was very very young, like 12 years old. Yeah. After that, we all learn, right?
Yeah.
Investment is high risk, high return. So I am going up from like basic deposit or mutual fund, and then I think it's stock investment is interesting, to learn as well, because you know that when you invest when you are very young, your risk is lower because you can recover anytime
Right.
if
So
you lost.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You were learning a lot about risk and reward and loss as well at a young age. And I imagine that, if you trained as a doctor, doctor's a very safe job, isn't it? It's very secure. It's in society, it's one of the top jobs, top professions. And I can imagine that in that field, risk is a bad word. Risk in medicine is not necessarily a good word, but you have this other world where you're actively seeking risk, well, controlled risk. So how did you balance that? Because, doctor training is very safe and secure and risk averse, whereas being an entrepreneur and trading stocks is all about risk.
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. I think that is the reason why I jump onto the entrepreneurial like spirit. Yeah, because I think being the doctor, we be able to help the people, but we cannot help the people like million people all at once. Yeah, because it's safe, it's less risk. You need to do one by one, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I really love entrepreneurial things, because it make me like be able to make an impact to more people at the same time. For me, yeah, when we helping like startup, we cannot guarantee that 100% they will success, definitely.
Yeah.
But you see that you can make the impact like 80% or 90%. It's a lot better. And for me, that is balance risk already. So we might lose some, but the gain it's much more.
Right. Yeah. But you understand those rules, right? You understand the game. So when you sold your stock trading app to the Thai Stock Exchange, what happened then? Did you complete your medical training? What did you do next?
Yeah, in Thailand, that time when I was fourth year, I'm thinking quite a lot what I should do next. Yeah, because I one thing that I learned from that experience is that I strongly believe whenever we be able to connect digital and technology into any industry, Yeah, like financial or medical or marketing, whatever. Yeah, the impact is profound. It's not only for me, but can be for everyone, for the country, for the society. That's make me believe that I should pursue these kind of things. Yeah, and but thing is, in Thailand, it's just not like in the US or in other part of the world that once you dropped out, you can be successful.
Yeah.
Because in Asia here, it's if you're not graduate, it's like stigma.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Exactly.
hey, this guy dropped out. Yeah, you know that well because you live in Asia. So yeah, so I managed to graduate as a doctor. I still got my license.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got my license. And
So you're an MD. You're an MD, but you're not practicing it.
yeah. Right.
Okay.
And
So
after that,
So did you?
yeah.
I mean, did you have that conversation? Were there people in your family who were saying, "Hey, look, kid, you've got to become a doctor. You've trained, but in your heart, you wanted to become an entrepreneur"?
Yeah, that question. I keep thinking about it since fourth year until 3-4 years later, because it's not easy. Your
Yeah.
parents were convincing you, oh, it's not safe. You're going to do something, and then it's not. It's not safe.
No.
So why don't you go and become the doctor? When you become the doctor, you can be anything else as well.
Exactly.
But to me, it's quite hard when you don't focus. Yeah, you cannot do that well. Anything.
Yeah, but for that generation, for our parents' generation, that was the right decision for them, right? They grew up
Right.
in a different era, different attitude to risk, different background. But for you, you see this digital thing happening. You understand that maybe the risk is bigger if you don't start your own business, if you don't follow your intention, if you like. So, I think this is always a challenge, isn't it? Especially for Asian kids graduating now. They're thinking, what do I do? And there's a lot of pressure on them to become an accountant or become a doctor or some professional. So it's always interesting to hear these stories and how people made these decisions. So tell us again, what happened next? What did you do after college? Did you go and start another business or what?
Yeah. So I during that time, I thinking a lot, and then I say another area that I'm quite interested is the marketing, the marketing side. So during I study in the med school, I also enroll in another university about the marketing.
Oh,
So that's a double degree.
yeah.
So I because I think marketing will I love learning. I love learning new stuff every day. So I think marketing would be something very interesting. And at that time, in Thailand, digital marketing it just started. Yeah, like 10 years ago, it just started. So people just start using Facebook. People just start at that time. It's before Facebook is high five. Yeah,
All
so
right. Yeah.
it's yeah. It's very early, and then really I'm lucky because one of my friend called me up and then say, hey kid, one of the big global advertising agency, they would like to set up here in Thailand,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to find the one that can run the company as a CEO.
Mm-hmm.
So oh really? Oh, that's interesting because my background after I do stock trading, I learned a lot about programming as well. So I understand how to do the website, to do the mobile application. Uh, if you see the landscape 10 years back, global advertising agency, especially in Thailand, they only know how to do the print ad, TV commercial,
Yep.
those offline traditional media. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's there are a lot of need. There's many needs from the brand that they like to jump onto this marketing space.
Right. Is this
So
Dentsu, Japanese
yeah,
ad agency that you're talking about that came to Thailand?
yeah. So many. So Ogilvy, WPP,
Right.
all the brand.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're already in Thailand for
No, but
many
the
years.
company that came to you and said, let's set up, we need a CEO, was that Dentsu or was it somebody else?
Oh no, that's the Havas Group.
Oh, Havas. Okay. So Havas Media.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah. Right. So then, after that, I'm acting as a CEO, and learning like how industry advertising work.
Right. But you had never been a CEO before. You've never worked. I know you did the course, but you never worked in advertising. You don't know ad agencies. You don't have any relationships with. I mean, that's how did you get that position? You must have sold yourself very well.
No, I mean, I think I got very lucky because, I can at that time being the CEO for ad agency is not that hard, especially digital agency, because the things that the brand will ask you is how to do the website, how to do the good website, how to do the good web application. So that what I be able to answer them because I did stock exchange before, so I be able to run the web, the app very well. So that's why that's very easy but things that I need to learn, it's about marketing and how advertising and like the advertising industry work. What are the roles of agency? Why agency do have the benefit or what are the service that they provide? How's the ecosystem works? So that I learn a lot from being the CEO. And then learn a lot from other country as well, because you need to meet other CEO in other country. I went to China, I went to Singapore, I went to like Japan, many countries. Then I learned, this is the ecosystem of advertising.
Yeah. So when you started that digital agency within Havas, how many people were in your team?
So we have only like 5 people at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. And
you and 4 others. How many did you end with?
So I think it's we ending is around 10 people. So after 10, it's been around 2 years after I run the company, and then the headquarters say, hey, because during the first 2 years, we do the kind of joint venture, together with the Hawas, and then after 2 years, they said, the business is growing very good. So they need to setting up the company here, like the real company here. So I said, hey, if you're setting up the company, it's competing, right? It's competing with what we do together for the past 2 years. So then I decided I need to make a move. So then after that, I set up my own ad agency afterward.
So is it an ad agency or was it a digital agency? Because it's kind of important what you position yourself as, because they're all quite different. What was your idea?
So at that time, after I start my own company, so it's digital agency.
Okay, but you weren't just doing websites then, right? I'm sure you progressed from that stage. So we were lucky because at that time, after I start my own company, one of the first client is Toyota. Right.
So we helping them launching Toyota Prius in Thailand.
Okay.
So that's the big move. And then after that, 5 year later, the Japanese conglomerate NTT Docomo group of company invest into our company.
So what was the purpose of them investing? Was it to make you part of the Docomo group, or what was the plan?
So I think because the entity that investing in us is they're doing the mobile marketing. They are one of the top mobile marketing agency in Japan because they're taking care of the media of Docomo media, everything in mobile.
Right.
So that's we think it's good to learn from them as well, because in Japan you have 4G, 5G long before in Thailand. Because in Thailand we just have 4G last 2 years.
Exactly, and put it into context that Japan was well ahead. I mean, it's different now, but back then Japan was well ahead of the rest of the world, not just in terms of technology, but also knowledge about how people used, especially how young people used mobile and mobile internet, mobile marketing. They had a lot of knowledge in Japan, which would have put them 3, 4, maybe 5 years ahead of some markets.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so what happened next? You grew that business for 5 years, Docomo invested, and what did that mean to you? Was it now time to move, or you stayed with the business and continued to grow it?
Yeah, so I still act like being the group CEO. So our company growing quite a lot from I mentioned to you like 10 people, right? Right now we have around, in our group, we have around 150 people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's a span across like 4 business. And one of the business that I'm really looking forward to is corporate innovation.
Right.
Why? Yeah, because after I work with the CEO, a lot of company we working with for advertising. Yeah, every year I will meet top CEO in the country and also Fortune 500 company. Yeah, you know what? Like the question that they ask me is all the same. So the question being asked, is there's 2 questions. So first question is, hey kid, you are like innovator. You're doing a very good job for like digital marketing and advertising as a whole. What do you think that is an innovation or trend that the brand should adopt this year?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the very basic question, and I think it's quite easy to answer, right? Yeah, because I've been asked a question like this for many times. But the second question is even harder. Okay, kid. Yeah, we've been working with you for many years. Yeah, for advertising. Yeah. Can you reduce the fee?
Mm.
Yeah. That's make me think quite a lot because it's very common, right? Because when you do the service, yeah, the longer time you do the service, yeah, if your goal is different. Your goal is different from your client because your client want to maximize their profit. Also, we provide a service. We want to maximize our profit too.
Yeah.
That's a conflicting goal. Yeah. So I think, yeah, why don't we try to have the same goal? Yeah. Then this is why I think innovation would help. If we have innovation, yeah, we be able to help our client. Yeah, to move faster, to have more revenue, to reduce cost, or to increase the profit. Once we have the innovation, yeah, we be able to achieve the mutual goal for our clients too.
So let's unpack Rise a little bit and look at actually how it works. You call it an accelerator. Does it behave and act in a similar way to normal startups accelerators, i.e., there's a 3-month program, you have batches, you have demo days. How does it work at Rise?
Yeah, so Rise, yeah, we call ourselves a corporate innovation accelerator, but in fact, we have like 3 services, yeah, that we are doing. So as you see, accelerator, yeah, we do not take equity. We're helping them running 3-month, 6-month program. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the goal is to be able to help startup to connect to the corporate, to be able to do the prototype. Yeah, and the startup that we're targeting is not really seed stage. Yeah, it's not really idea stage at all. So we're looking at post-seed stage or pre-Series A, right, because these are the startup that be able to work with the corporate. Yeah, and then rather than we typically seed stage accelerator, they will train you, they will coach you how to do the business, right? But for us, we more focus towards building the prototype and getting you the first check, the first purchase order from the corporate.
Right. Okay. So
that's the difference.
Right. So these are startups that have a prototype. They're a little less risk than the people with just ideas, and maybe that's more appropriate for a corporate partner. But the corporates, they're the ones that sponsor this accelerator and they bankroll it and make it happen financially, and you get these startups into the accelerator. What kind of startups are you looking for your accelerator? Because I imagine your corporate sponsors want to see certain types of startups.
Definitely. So it's depending on the corporate that we're working with. For example, like the first corporate partner that we're running is a Krungsi Bank. So the bank. So definitely the area that they focus is fintech, right? And after that, we do National Accelerator. So our partner is Digital Economy Ministry. So they're focusing on helping Thailand as a whole, to adopt more digital economy. So in this, the batch that we run is everything: fintech, IoT, health tech, or tourism tech, whatever that help Thailand as a country to be better.
Right.
So that's the second batch. Yeah, and the last one, the one that we are doing right now, we partner up with the largest company in Thailand. 43 billion USD company. There is PTT. So they are energy company. So definitely, they will focus on the energy related startup, and also the startup that be able to help them to do the digital transformation, blockchain, chatbot, the big data management. So other things that be able to help them grow exponentially.
So let's understand a little bit about the startups that go into your accelerator. Are you actively involved in selecting those startups? Are you part of that process at all?
Actually, we are the one who select the startup. Right. Yeah, and then because the thing is that the thing that's challenging here in Thailand, innovation is very new.
Yeah.
Accelerator, it just happened in less than 5 years. So the corporate or the government, they don't know how to do it. Yeah, they just start. So we are the one that become the coach, the mentor, that guide them the process, how to select, what they should looking at, and then we help streamline the process. Yeah, we helping them to be the part of the process as well. Right. Yeah, so because you think like day one that the corporate people they really don't know what we are doing. So we just let them join. For example, like our selecting committee, like 5 people. Yeah. So 2 people will coming from the corporate. Yeah. And 2 people from Rise. And then maybe 1 people is from outside, like investor, like VC or industrial expert. So these are the combination that we also not only select the right startup, but also help training the corporate to understand in the future, if they want to do something like this, how they're going to do it.
Right. So they're the mentors and advisors as well. Can you give us some examples of some of the startups that you have, maybe in the current batch or previous batch? I know you've seen hundreds maybe, and it's a bit unfair to ask you. It's like choosing between your children, but maybe one that you've dealt with recently, something that is a little bit different. Can you give us an example of a startup in your batch so we can get an idea of what kind of companies are in there?
Sure. So, for example, like the one that is quite promising in the first batch for fintech batch is called Finnomena. So Finnomena is a robo-advisor. For mutual fund. So basically, in Thailand, when people they go to the bank, right, and then they want to invest in the mutual fund, what the bank will offer to them. Normally, the bank will offer the mutual fund that they are managing. For example, like the Green Bank. When you go to the Green Bank also have the asset management company that running the mutual fund, and they have multiple fund. But when you go to the Green Bank will say, hey, these are the fund that we are having. Which one do you like? Or they can recommend. Yeah, but at the end, all the mutual fund that they choose, that they give us offer us, is all in their company, from their company or from the subsidiary. That is not the best one. So what Finnomena they're trying to do is that they open it up. So because the background of the CEO and the management, they're all coming from the bank, and they're all coming from the CEO is being the chief investment officer for the mutual fund for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Arthur is also the analyst. Yeah, that analyze only the mutual fund market for 10 years. So then when they do this, they be able to help us to select the best fund, in the market. Yeah, and the good thing is that they don't collect any fee from us. And you might wonder, and how they make money?
Right.
So they will collect the fee from the fund.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of it.
Okay, so that's Finnomena. That are they in a current batch or they've already graduated?
They already graduate, and after they graduate for 6 months, they'll be able to raise the Series A round.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the things that I think we help building ecosystem one by one.
So
slowly.
Are the founders of that company, are they Thai?
Yeah, they're all Thai.
Okay. So are you seeing now around you an increase in the amount of entrepreneurs who are Thai? Because usually what happens at the beginning of a startup ecosystem is most of the entrepreneurs tend to come from outside, don't they? You tend to get expats, people who maybe even have lived abroad like yourself. But now are you seeing locally grown Thais come through?
Yeah, I think it's our ecosystem in Thailand is developing quite a lot. Yeah, if you're looking at like 5 years ago, we only have like 2-3 venture capital in the market. Yeah, but right now it's almost 100. Yeah, so you see it's like 10 times tenfold growth. Yeah, in only 5 years, and also the startup that got funding. Yeah, I remember 5 years ago, the largest round. Yeah, for the startup is only 2 million baht.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the largest round. 2 million. Yeah, 2 million USD.
Yeah,
that's the largest round. Yeah, but right now, the last year, I think the largest round would be around 20 million. So it's also like 10 times growth in terms of capital that flowing into the country.
It's matured a lot. And when you look at the startup founders come to your accelerator, and not necessarily the ones who are successful in getting in, but all the applications that you get, do you see any people like yourself when you were 19 back then, when you were starting a mobile stock trading app? Do you see startup founders like yourself who have that same kind of hunger, or are we dealing with a different type of Thai entrepreneur today?
Wow, I think that I see quite a lot, because now the scene is very active, and then there's so many Thais that leave abroad or graduate from abroad, and now they're coming back to Thailand, and then they might be the son of the publicly traded company, and they want to build something their own, or they just graduate and then they think they like to do the startup. So I think that the market is growing quite a lot.
Mm-hmm. There's still a way to go, isn't there? Because I mean, Thailand is, as you say, 5 years in the making of that startup ecosystem. The signs are really positive. What needs to happen now? What would you like to see more of in Thailand to really grow this ecosystem?
Yeah, I think one thing that Thailand is lack of right now, is success story.
Yeah.
The success story of the startup that be able to grow abroad. Yeah, so I think there are so many Thai startups that already achieve like 80% market share, or like they dominate the market in one sector, but we never see Thai startup that capturing the Southeast Asian market or Asia markets as a whole. So that is something I'm really looking for in the next 2-3 years. Yeah, that I hope that we will have one.
Why is that? Why do you think Thai startups don't have a track record abroad? Is it a time thing? Is it a mindset thing? Is it logistics? What's going on?
Yeah, I think Thailand is like Japan or Korea in a sense is that we have the domestic market that is not small,
Yeah,
right? So even you capture the whole market in Thailand, you'll be able to survive.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you know that when you go out abroad, it's different story. You need to do many things, do it differently from what you do in Thailand.
Mm,
So that is, I think that's the first thing.
yeah.
And that's yeah.
So those young entrepreneurs that come to you, or not necessarily young entrepreneurs, but those startup founders who apply to accelerators, do they have the mindset to go abroad? Do they need extra skills which they don't have yet? I'm just wondering, you say you want more stories, but what's missing that we need in Thailand to make this happen?
Yeah, I think the key is the second reason that I'm about to mention is that because in Thailand we use Thai, so when I see a lot of entrepreneur when they're going abroad, yeah, that their pitch or the English, it is not up to the level
Right.
just yet. This is for the most people. Let's say for the I wouldn't say we're not good at English, yeah, but I would say if you never go abroad, yeah, the mentality, yeah, and also the language is also the barrier. Yeah.
Mm, mm. Yeah, and that's a challenge, isn't it? And the only way to get better at English is to go abroad, really, isn't it? Like yourself, is that you can study at university. I'm sure every Thai studies English at university, but it's very different, isn't it, when you actually go and live abroad and you have to order food or you have to survive. If you don't learn English, you'll die effectively. So, that's the best way to learn, isn't it?
Right. And I see these days, right, like many of the Thai entrepreneur, yeah, they graduate abroad and then they come back.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's quite promising. It's a very, very good timing, yeah,
Yeah.
for Thai startup to go abroad and then grow outside of Thailand.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's fascinating. So that's phenomena that you shared an example of. Is there any sort of any sort of trends in the type of startups that you're seeing? So, for example, are we seeing more women founders? Are we seeing more people come out of banks? What sort of trends are you seeing in terms of startup founders in Thailand? Are they older? Are they younger? What's happening now?
I think it's kind of, to me, it's kind of mixed. Yeah, so we have young startup. We also have those who already have like 10 years experience, and then they quit their job. They want to pursue entrepreneurial track. I think that's quite mixed. But thing is, I think what I like to see, yeah, more these days is the startup that be able to utilize country advantage,
Hmm.
yeah, to be the core competency. So I always, yeah, say to the team and also like many politician or government official that, hey, don't stop trying to be Silicon Valley. Yeah,
Hmm.
stop to build Silicon Valley in Thailand. You never achieve that.
Yeah.
You never have the ecosystem that is just like in Silicon Valley. But what you should have is Thai Valley. Yeah, you should build on something you're strong at, and then Silicon Valley cannot follow you up. Yeah,
Mhm.
for example, like you should build on tourism
Yeah.
tech, tourism technology, because tourism is a core for Thailand. Everyone think of Thailand, think of the beach, Phuket or PP Island, or yeah.
Mm.
So I think, and but when we see the foreigner coming to Thailand, they have a very hard time. Their experience is not up to the level yet, because when they catch a taxi, they might freak out because taxi overcharge them, or
Mm.
yeah, I think the key is to have the technology, yeah, to help foreigner or traveler to be happy when they come to Thailand. So that's a big industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is something other country cannot catch up. So that's one thing that I like to push our government, to push everyone that I'm talking to, that hey, we should do tourism tech, we should do medical tech, yeah, we should do agri
Mm.
tech, yeah,
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's a really good point. You're basically saying to all the Asian startup ecosystems that you shouldn't just copy America and Silicon Valley because you'll never be the same. What you should do is take what works, take some of that information and build some of that in your own country, but build around what you're good at. And even if we look at, for example, travel as a good example, the online travel market in Southeast Asia is worth $50 billion a year. That's according to the latest Google Temasek data. And that's going to double over the next 7 years. So, it's $100 billion market. And we've only just started to see medical tourism as well as a boom market outside of Southeast Asia. I mean, the amount of focus now on medical tourism into Thailand, for example, it's a huge growing market. So, these are definite areas that people need to focus on and build an ecosystem around that. How do you build? I mean, take travel as an example, Kid. How do you build an ecosystem around travel? If you were to build a startup valley, a Thai valley with travel as a core focus, what would it look like?
yeah, so I think we should let the ecosystem work together. So that's a key. Find a way to that everyone is win-win-win. So right now, I think one thing that when I compare what our government is doing, comparing to like country like neighborhood like Singapore or Malaysia, I think there's a bit different. Yeah, because thing is, for example, Malaysia, they are. I just back from Malaysia last week, and then I met a government official that's supporting startup. So what I see is that government, they're really not only building the policy around it, but they come and they really support, setting up the fund and helping the ecosystem, to move forward. Yeah, but in Thailand, when I'm looking back, when we're talking about digital, they're like 3-4 ministry that doing the same thing. So I mean it's kind of like silo. Yeah. What because they're trying to achieve the same thing for the country, but they didn't talking to each other that much. so that is something like ministry they're doing same thing, but a bit and pieces.
Yeah.
So that is something that I like to share. And if we can fix this, I think Thailand would be a very good ground for any startup that would like to grow. Yeah, because we be able to access in CLMV region very easy, right?
Yeah, excellent. It's a very exciting space as well. What's coming up for you, Kid? Share with us maybe some information, if you can, about what's next for you or what's next for the Corporate Innovation Accelerator Rise. Any exciting developments?
Yeah, so right now, what we're doing is we running the program, called DNext, together with PTT. Yeah, so this is the first regional accelerator program, that being out of Thailand. So what it means for the startup is that we will recruit startup, from worldwide, and forecasting the first year Southeast Asia, to come to Thailand. And then any of the startup that would like to scale the business in Thailand and Southeast Asia, they can work with us with this program. So this is the first time ever for Thai accelerator that be able to help international startup to grow in our country.
Fantastic. Watch this space. Hey, that's Kid Parchariyanon, everybody. And Kid, before you go, please give us a link where people can find out more about, especially Rise and what you just talked about, where they can go and check it out on the internet. Where should they go?
Sure. They can visit our website as Rise Excel. So RISEACCEL.com. Yeah, so that is our URL. Yeah, you can check that out. Yeah, and then happy to chat via Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever.
Excellent, Kid. It's been fantastic talking to you. And I know you said, for example, that there aren't many stories in Thailand of success overseas. Well, maybe your story yourself is worth sharing. And hopefully we've shared that story today with people listening in. If somebody's listening in Thailand or anywhere else in Asia and is inspired by the career, the journey of Kid Parchariyanon, then please, get in touch. You can tweet us at Asia Tech Pod, or you can tweet Kid himself at, let me get this right, Superchai MD, correct?
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm sure he'll be happy to chat with you, anything about his story as well as information about Rise, the corporate innovation accelerator. Kid, please come back on in the future as well. Share your journey with us as well as the latest batch and any news you have from Rise. Thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thanks a lot, Graham. Yeah, happy to share.
You've been listening to Asia Tech Podcast.